Here is a General Electric dehumidifier. General Electric branded, that is. This is not an actual General Electric product like we had years ago. This is just a General Electric branded product that was made by whatever company put the lowest bid in at the time. General Electric bought all the units from that company and then resold them under the General Electric brand name. That's a problem because it creates inconsistency in the quality, as some of the manufacturers were better than others. Dehumidifiers, for whatever reason that I don't understand, are the absolute worst of the modern appliances available today. There's no beating around the bush that appliances from 30, 40, 50, 60 years ago were much better quality and worked much better and lasted a lot longer than just about everything made today. However, you can still buy a halfway decent window air conditioner that will last you a bunch of years. You can still buy a halfway decent refrigerator that'll last you a bunch of years. You cannot still buy a halfway decent dehumidifier that'll last a bunch of years. These things typically 1 to 2 seasons, and that's it. They're a week, because the coils are so cheaply made, the material is too thin, it rusts out, gets a leak, the refrigerant pressure is too high, and it just all leaks out, and that's the end of it. This is a very similar model to the one that was at the old location. That one, I believe, was a 50 pints model, so it's bigger than this one. And for what it's worth, that one actually worked really good the first year it was installed. In fact, it worked so good, I remember when I used to clean stuff up downstairs, I would lay it all out on the counter after I was done cleaning and it was drying off, and I would put that dehumidifier on, and it would actually dry the counter and everything around there within like half an hour. It really worked quite good. I want to say it was the second season or maybe the third season that it started to ice up profusely, and then that was the end of it. It just never worked right again. Very abysmal. So this is pretty much the same model in a smaller capacity. It also does not have the pump, so it's a lower lower tier model. According to the informations, it is a 20.28 pints unit. It is model ADEL20LYQ1, pulls 3.7 amps, and the date of manufacture is September of 2019, R410 junk. So this was probably purchased in the summer of 2020. And oh, look at that. It's got moving parts. But get your iPhone out and scan this RQ code. Woo, scan me. Give me a break. This stuff drives me nuts. So this one has a, I don't know why that was worth the time and money and R&D and whatever to put that there. That's pointless. So 20 pints is a pretty small number, but this is going to be new enough to be measured by the new standard. So that's 20 pints measured at 65 degrees at, I want to say 65% humidity, if I'm recalling correctly. I might not be, but I think that's what it is. And that's a pretty reasonable real world use case, at least in this part of the country, as opposed to the old standard, which measured the machines at 80 or 85 degrees with astronomically high humidity levels, which of course would give the machine a substantial performance boost, because a higher temperature and higher humidity is going to cause the coil to condensate a lot more. So this is a rare situation where the measurement method changed to something that actually makes more sense. So so that's that. I don't know how many sizes and whatever was offered in this series. I really don't take a lot of interest in newer dehumidifiers, so I don't pay attention. And in fact, the reason why we're doing a video on this is because I'm going to get rid of this one. It's been kicking around here for a while, and I'm just never going to use it again because now I have found enough vintage machines. I don't need this stuff. So I'm going to give this to my neighbor. We're going to test it, make sure it works. I'm going to let it run overnight and make sure that it pulls some moisture. And as long as it's working, we'll clean it up and I'll give it to him because his basement has it's got like four different rooms, and as there is here, he's got a lot of water problems as well. He only has one dehumidifier, and the last time I was in his basement it was really musty. So I'm going to give him this one, and I have another one too I'm going to give him, so we'll have 3 down there. I don't think he really cares about dehumidifiers that much, like modern or vintage or whatever, so this probably won't last him too long, but for the price of free, if it gets him through a year or even just through the rainy season this year, it'll be helpful to him. So this has looks like it has 3 fan speeds, unless it's just a stock control that is used. It's got a 4 and 2 hour delay off timer. I don't know who would actually use that or what the use case would be. What does that thing say? Non-stop. Filter reset, which is just a runtime timer. I think one of the most annoying things about these units in terms of design is the bucket size. This is abysmal. This will fill up in 2 or 3 hours if it's really humid. And there's the compressor in that area there. And the filter. Oh gosh. No wonder this was canned. The filter is all blocked up. Alright, well we're going to have to... okay. The coil, the filter at least is wearing a sweater. And then this one does have continuous drain at least, so we could set it up with a garden hose. And there is a bunch of grossness in there, so we're going to have to give this a good flush with some coil cleaner and whatnot and get it in presentable condition. You know, this is a dumb design because you can barely reach that to screw the thing on, unless does it... oh, I guess you could reach it from below. Alright, I retract that comment. So this is now 3 seasons old, assuming it started to be used in 2020, 2021, 2022, and 2023. That makes it 4 seasons old, because we haven't used it in 2024 yet. So this is only 3 years old. Let's see if it still works. I really have no idea. I have not used this in a while. So right now we're getting 118.3 volts. I should have plugged it in. I should have plugged it in before the video because I think there's going to be a 3 minutes time delay before it wants to start working. We have a little wire tie on here. We'll take that off. The fans on these are fairly decent. It's a ball bearing motor, and it's going to continue to coast down for some time. Let's see if we can grab the informations on there. It's not looking like it. Oh, there we go. There's a number. There's a wiring diagram. Actually, if I turn the thing on and then shut it right back off, we should be able to maybe see it there. Perhaps if it wasn't so blurry, but such is life, it's all blurry. Is it going to clear up? I guess not. Oh well. I don't know what the... actually, I can barely see it in person. It's a motor for room air condition. That's what it says. It literally says motor for room air condition. Not conditioner, condition. That's really funny. I wish I could show that on the video, but it's not going to work. I can't see the brand. It just says motor for room air condition. It's a 3-speed motor, 5 microfarads. Yeah, I can't see it. Alright, well, I'm just going to turn the camera off for a minute and let 3 minutes pass. And then we should be able to get this to come on with the compressor. Okay, it's been some time now. We'll switch this over to the amps and let's turn this on. You know, for whatever it's worth, which is not much, that compressor actually sounded really nice when it came on. I heard the gas clear out and start to flow through. Might still have a charge. We'll see if the head pressure starts to go up based on the power draw. It's at 2.27 amps. It should go up considerably more once the head pressure builds up. It's relatively quiet. And the output should feel somewhat warm if it's working properly. There's no way to feel the coil. I suppose if I took the filter out I might have been able to get a hit it with the thermal thing, but it's going to stop for 3 minutes if I take the bucket out. So this is low fan, and it's moving a decent amount of air. Medium, or that's, yeah, medium, and high. That actually is moving a lot of air. I'm impressed with that. It's a shame that these are such bad build quality, because in terms of performance they work pretty good when they have a charge. Now I have one of these from, I forget what year it is. It might be 2020 or 2021. But it actually has a, I think it has a Retchi compressor in it. Something reputable and well known. So these aren't always made with random Chinese brands, but sometimes they are. And it's worth noting that the Chinese brand is not the problem. It's the American corporate greed that's the problem, because the Chinese brand just tailors to what is being asked to be made. In fact, I find that some of the actual Chinese brands, like as opposed to General Electric is an American brand but it's just made in China, some of the actual Chinese brands in China make some halfway acceptable appliances, like Midea, for example. Most of the Midea stuff generally doesn't stink. And then what's that other brand of dehumidifier? That one with the little linear compressor and the 134. What is the brand on that dehumidifier? It was a Chinese brand. What the brand is, I can't. What do you call that brand? I can't remember how you call that brand, but those were decent. So up to 2.37 amps now. I can hear the compressor. It kind of sounds like it's under head pressure. It is very cold down here, so it might stay low. I'm gonna let it run for a little while and see what happens. I just took the filter out so we can try to hit it with the thermal here. No, it seems like it's working. It's about 63 degrees in here. The output's 71, a little bit above ambient. That's what I would expect. Well, I think this is working. I'm kind of surprised. The other one I have is also still working, but I think that these two are outliers. I don't think this is typical. The fan is very out of balance, but I guess it doesn't matter because it's a ball bearing. So we'll need to clean the filter. That was completely blocked. We'll take it apart and clean the coil out, and we'll rinse the bucket out and stuff like that. Give it a good cleanup, and then it'll go into service at my neighbor's house. And how long it lasts, who knows. He'll probably tell me when it quits, so maybe I'll update the video at that time. And of course the controls. Yeah, it's definitely got plenty of gas in there. The controls have an obnoxiously loud beep.